Grace's freedom, a mother's humiliation and her powerful retaliation. My name is Grace. Mother's Day marked the worst humiliation of my 74 years of life. It was a Sunday morning, the sun streaming through the living room windows, when I arrived at my daughter Danielle's house to celebrate my day. I was wearing my favorite green dress, the one that always made me feel elegant. "Grandma Grace," the little one shouted, running toward me. Their hugs filled my heart with joy. For a moment, everything seemed perfect. Danielle pulled a pink card from her purse and handed it to me. "It's from all of us, Mom. Read it out loud so everyone can hear." My hands trembled slightly as I opened the envelope. I saw the little flower drawings the kids had made. How sweet, I thought, and started to read in a clear, excited voice. "Roses are red, violets are blue." My voice cracked. The next words hit me like punches. "You're a heavy burden. No one wants you here. Your time has passed. It's time for you to go." The silence was deafening. Then my son-in-law, Michael, started to laugh, a cruel, mocking laugh. Danielle covered her mouth, but I could see she was laughing too. "Did you see her face, Mom?" Danielle said between laughs. "It's just a joke, Mom. Don't take it so seriously. You've always been so dramatic." Michael picked up the card. "Yeah, Grace, we were just playing around. But, you know..." He paused awkwardly. "Lately, you've been a bit too present. Maybe you should consider other options." "Other options?" My voice broke. "Well, you know," Danielle said, sitting in front of me. "There are some really good senior living communities for people your age. Places where you can be with people like you. You'd be more comfortable." The word senior living rang in my head like a death sentence. My own children wanted to get rid of me like I was old junk. I should just go. I got up slowly, my legs shaking. "Okay, Mom." Danielle didn't even stand up to say goodbye. That night, in my empty house, I cried until there were no more tears. But something had changed in me. The humiliation had woken up something that had been dormant for years. It was time for my family to learn the truth about who Grace really was. Dollar banknote, the silent provider. Danielle's father abandoned us when she was only 3. I promised myself she would never go without anything. I worked double shifts at the textile mill for 15 years. When she was 17 and wanted to study nursing, I sold my mother's jewelry. During her 5 years of university, I worked weekends cleaning offices. When Danielle married Michael, I paid half of the wedding, $12,000. When they bought their first home, I gave them the down payment, $25,000. It was all I had saved. When the grandkids arrived, I became their free babysitter for 3 years. Every day at 6 a.m., I walked 6 blocks to their house. I made breakfast, dressed them, fed them, and bathed them. When Danielle came home from work, the house was clean and the children were happy. Gradually, the thank yous became less frequent. My opinion started to be considered interference. When Michael lost his job, I started giving them $500 a month so they wouldn't lose the house. They never told me to stop sending the money. I paid $2,000 for the kids' new computers. I contributed $8,000 for the kitchen remodel. I became the silent provider, the one always there to solve their financial problems, but who was no longer invited to important family decisions. A year ago, Danielle organized a family dinner for Michael's birthday. "Why didn't you invite me?" I asked Danielle over the phone. "Oh, Mom, it was a really small thing, just the 4 of us. We thought you'd be bored." I saw the photos on social media. There were 20 people. Everyone had been invited except me. But the final straw came 3 months ago. I overheard Michael talking on the phone in the patio. "Yeah, my mother-in-law lives alone. She's getting really dependent. Yes, we're looking at options to move her to a proper place." I froze. My own son-in-law was planning to get rid of me like I was old furniture. Gemstone Grace's secret. They didn't know something very important about me. My mother, before she died, had told me about a beachfront condo in Nassau, Bahamas, that I inherited when I turned 70. It had been rented out for decades. The money was accumulating in an account I never touched. I also had investments from my Aunt Lucille's inheritance, bonds, stocks, certificates of deposit. In total, I had almost $400,000 that my family knew nothing about. They thought I was a poor old woman living on government handouts. They didn't know I had been discreetly funding their comfortable life for years. After the humiliation of Mother's Day, something inside me broke forever. It was time for them to learn Grace's true value: airplane, retaliation, and freedom. That night, I looked at my bank documents and did some mental calculations. In the last 5 years, I had given them exactly $67,000. This money was received as if it were their natural right, while they treated me worse and worse. I remembered last Christmas, when I had bought expensive gifts worth $3,000, but Danielle handed back my grandmother's antique pearl necklace without even trying it on. I remembered 2 months ago, when I had a high fever and Danielle said, "Mom, you're not a little girl anymore. You have to learn to take care of yourself." My 82-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, brought me homemade soup. I understood with painful clarity what my real place was in my family's life. I was the emotional ATM. I logged into my online banking and made important changes. I canceled the automatic $500 monthly transfer to Danielle's account. I closed the joint savings account they used. I changed my will. Everything designated for Danielle and Michael would now go to a foundation for abandoned seniors. I established a trust for my grandkids that they could only access at age 25, and only if they maintained a genuine relationship with me. My next stop was the travel agent. "I want to fly to Nassau this Friday," I said. I bought a first-class ticket. Before I left, I wrote letters to Danielle and Michael. The essence of the letter to Danielle was, "By the time you read this, I will be on my way to Nassau. I have decided to cut all financial support." The Mother's Day card was simply the last straw. You stopped seeing me as your mother and started seeing me as your personal maid and private bank. My inheritance will now be given to people who truly value generosity. If you really want your mother back, you're going to have to prove that you value me for who I am, not for what I can give you. In the letter to Michael, I revealed that I had overheard his phone conversation and informed him that I had property in Nassau and investments that generated more money than he made in a year. I placed the letters on my coffee table. It had taken me 74 years, but I had finally learned the most important lesson of my life. You teach people how to treat you by what you are willing to accept. I was going to Nassau, and for the first time in a long, long time, I was excited about my life. I wasn't alone. I was free.